What's up, guys? Today's question is, what's the most embarrassing thing that happened to you on your first day at work? Story 1. I got a job at a small family-owned Italian restaurant as a dishwasher. First day, I'm just trying to stay out of everyone's way. Doing what I'm told. Toward the end of the shift, the head chef tells me to go to the big walk-in freezer and grab the meat in the black bag. I find this huge black trash bag on a low shelf, and the second I touch it, I feel something that feels off. Like not meat. It felt like an arm. I swear it twitched. My brain goes into full panic mode. I sprint out of the freezer shouting that there's a not alive body inside. Everyone stops. Total silence. The chef rushes in, looks at the bag, and starts howling with laughter. Turns out it was a prank they do to new hires. They stuff a mannequin inside a bag and wait for someone to freak out. I was so shaken I didn't speak for the rest of the day. They still call me CSI to this day. Story 2. I was working at a retail store. Corporate came in that day, so everyone had to look sharp. I wore these new dress pants my mom got me. Super slim fit. I bend down to grab a box behind the counter and rip right down the middle, like full exposure. No way to hide it. I had to walk backwards for an hour until my manager found an apron I could wear. And to make it worse, one of the corporate guys saw the whole thing and just said, "Well, at least you're wearing nice boxers." I wanted the earth to swallow me. Story 3. First day at a local bakery. A co-worker who seemed really sweet starts chatting me up. Nervous me starts rambling. I mention I just got out of a relationship. She asks why, and I accidentally say, "Well, I cheated, but it was emotional, not physical." She just stares, then walks away. Turns out she was the owner's daughter. She told everyone. From that day, people called me Heartbreaker. No one would make eye contact for weeks. Lesson learned. Shut up until you know who you're talking to. Story 4. I got a job as an usher at a big concert venue. Day 1, I'm told to direct VIP guests to the private bathrooms. Simple enough. One guy asks me where it is, but instead of pointing him, I try to walk him there, to be helpful. Problem is, I get lost. We end up behind the stage in some hallway. Suddenly, we're face to face with the headliner's security team. They think we're trying to sneak in. They cuff the guest, a literal millionaire, and me. It took 30 minutes to clear up. I thought I was getting sued. My manager just sighed and said, "Let's just not do that again." Story 5. First day shadowing a nurse in a maternity ward. I'm tagging along when suddenly a woman screams that the baby's coming. Like now. The nurse is handling it, but then she says, "Grab some gloves and hold her leg." I freeze. I'm 18. Never even seen a birth video. I end up holding this lady's leg while she screams at me like I got her pregnant myself. The baby comes out, and I faint. Literally hit the floor. Woke up next to a crying newborn and a doctor saying, "We got another one down." Story 6. I was hired to work front desk at a hotel. Training was boring. I won't lie. I zoned out completely. That same day, the fire alarm goes off. Loud as hell. I panic, grab the emergency binder, and run to the lobby to evacuate people. Except I run the wrong protocol. Instead of evacuation, I accidentally trigger the lockdown procedure, locking every guest inside their rooms. People start calling down furious. Firefighters show up, and I'm trying to explain why I thought it was a test drill. Spoiler, it wasn't. Story 7. Barista job. First day, I'm told to steam milk. I twist the nozzle thing, nothing happens, so I twist harder. Suddenly, hot milk explodes from the machine. Everywhere. It hits the register, the wall, my shirt. It looked like a crime scene. Customers stared. One kid even started crying. The manager walks over slowly, like in a horror movie, and just says, "You steamed milk." Without a pitcher? Apparently, I was supposed to pour it in a jug first. Who knew? Story 8. My very first office job, I show up early, super nervous. This older guy walks in wearing a suit, looking all official. I stand up, smile, and say, "You must be Mr. Richardson." Then I go full kiss-up mode, thanking him for hiring me, how excited I am, etc. He just blinks and says, "I'm the mailman." Mr. Richardson walked in 2 minutes later, clearly having heard everything. I got called mailroom for the next 3 months. Story 9. It was my first day working remotely as a junior analyst. I was told to join a welcome Zoom call at 9 a.m. sharp. I click the link in the email, my webcam turns on, and I see a bunch of very serious-looking people in suits. Thinking I'm late, I start apologizing. Like, overly apologizing, explaining that I'm new, nervous, and I hadn't even put on pants yet. I laugh nervously and even pan the camera down to show my pajama bottoms. Silence. Then one of them says, "You're in the quarterly shareholders meeting for a Fortune 500 company. Who are you?" Wrong link. Wrong meeting. Somehow I'd clicked an old internal invite. I just shut my laptop and considered never turning it back on again. Story 10. First day working at a flower shop. I was in charge of labeling deliveries before the driver picked them up. I mixed up 2 big orders, one for a wedding and one for a funeral. Like full-on opposite vibes. The funeral home ended up receiving a giant bouquet that said, "Congrats on forever," with glitter and pink roses. Meanwhile, the wedding got a somber black and white wreath that said, "Gone but never forgotten." The worst part? Both customers showed up in person to complain at the same time. I stood there holding 2 apology cards while my boss looked like he wanted to crawl into the refrigerator and stay there. Story 11. First day, working part-time at an escape room. I'm shown how to control the cameras and hints from the back room. A group comes in. It's a birthday party of 12-year-olds. Everything goes fine until I accidentally trigger the emergency lockdown mode. The lights go red, sirens blare. The kids start screaming, thinking it's part of the game. One of them pees himself. Another tries to break open the door with a fake crowbar. Meanwhile, I'm frantically hitting buttons like a DJ on fire. Took 15 minutes to reset the room. Parents were not impressed. The birthday kid? He thought it was the best game ever. So, silver lining? Story 12. I got hired at a pet grooming salon. First hour, a woman comes in with what I think is an unusually ugly Shih Tzu. The thing growls at me like a gremlin and smells awful, but I put on gloves and start prepping the bath. My manager runs in and screams, "Stop! That's not a dog!" Turns out it was a literal raccoon she rescued and thought she could get cleaned up there. She insisted it was just really exotic. The raccoon escaped, climbed the shelf with the shampoo, knocked everything over, and pooped on a grooming table. I had to help clean up and was told, "Yeah, maybe stick to folding towels for now." Man, some first days really hit different. Hope yours went smoother than these. See you in the next one.